Yeah, welcome everybody. Anybody want to share a project? Adrian.
I don't really have a project to share. I'm just here to support everybody, see what everybody else is building.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Thank you for
I
joining.
I will be next week. I'm starting, so I've only recently started this building public on X. I've been a lurker on X for many years, but I've decided to start posting more and start building in public. So next week I'll have something to share. I'll start building a new project. So maybe I'll have something more to say then.
Oh, that's great. Like, do you mind if I ask what you're building? Like,
Yeah,
what you want to
absolutely.
start? Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so it's nothing too serious. I just want to experiment with like the building in public thing. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
build a. I guess it's a LLM wrapper to help people get more value out of their bookmarks on X. So the core idea is that I collect a ton of bookmarks, and I always have great ideas for what I'm going to do with them. Invariably, I never do anything with them at all. Sometimes I'll look through them, but I don't get the value out of them that I feel that I should. Especially the dopamine that you get from finding something good and you bookmark it, and that almost feels like you've done the thing, but you haven't really got any value for your own goals out of it. So I've had for a while my own system that I sync bookmarks into and use an LLM to parse through them, allow me to search them nicely, and then ask questions, do research about the things, maybe save ideas for projects or links that might be useful, and save them into a space that I can then search based on projects. So I've been using that for a while, but I decided to try and make that a product and turn that into something that people can use and see if people like it. But I guess my main motivation there is obviously I want to make money from it, and it would be nice if I do. But my core idea is just to build in public and make new friends and see what people are building and that kind of thing. So yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah, it's like so you kind of like categorize them and then you're able to query them like using
It doesn't even really categorize them. I guess it could. Well, I mean, I don't have it yet. But my
yeah,
idea
yeah,
for the
your
MVP,
idea.
my idea for the MVP is so I've got this kind of interesting. Well, I think it's interesting idea for the UX of it. So there's other tools that do chat with your notes kind of thing, and it's mostly just RAG. If anybody's familiar with that kind of concept with LLMs, where
Yeah.
you answer a query and then it searches for things that might be relevant and then answers your query based on whatever it found. Where the idea that I have is more the way that I think about it is I want it to feel like you're sitting next to a friend and just scrolling the feed, like your bookmarks feed, and then you just get to discuss the ideas and save notes. So if it's like a friend that has perfect memory and also has access to tools to do research and things like that. So it's a feed of all of your bookmarks and you can just scroll through them, and then instead of having to always explain the context, the LLM can always see what you're seeing, and you can just say things and ask questions and it knows what you're looking at, so then it can just answer the questions. So that's the idea of the UX for it. I want it to
So it's like
feel
a
like you're
voice
sitting next
first.
to somebody. Sorry.
Is it voice first like in your
uh I think
idea?
ultimately probably, but the MVP certainly won't be voice.
Okay. So you kind of I'm just trying to imagine, the walkthrough, right? Like so you have all your bookmarks imported into, X app
Mm-hmm.
for now.
Yep.
And then you scroll through it and then you're like, "Oh, I like this idea," and you just start chatting with the thing as you scroll.
Exactly. So for example, if somebody says some idea on how to improve the conversion of your landing page, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you tweet something like that, and I've bookmarked it, and I'm scrolling through it, and the idea ultimately is this thing that you're chatting with understands the project you're working on, it understands what you're thinking about and the directions you're trying to go. And then I'm scrolling this feed of bookmarks. I see your post about how to improve your conversion. And then I can just, rather than saying, hey, what does this mean about the conversion? How can I improve? And here's what I'm working on. And here's the things that I'm thinking about. And you have to explain all this context. Like if you went to ChatGPT, you could paste in the tweet, but you'd have to give it all this context.
Mm.
The idea that I have in my mind is that I should just be able to say, how can I implement this? And
Oh, okay.
and it
All
just
right.
knows. It just
So
knows what I'm referring to because it can see that I'm looking at the tweet. that you posted, and it can see the content of it, and it knows what I'm working on. So it's more like a collaborator. I can just say, how can I implement this? And then it will just go off and do some thinking, some research, whatever it needs to do, and then just give me the answer. And then those answers can then be saved for future reference. So maybe I see another tweet next week and say it's something about landing page conversion, and it might be able to recall the previous conversation about your tweets and say, hey, it was this, like, this is what we spoke about last time, here's what we thought about, and it can bring those into your conscious mind again, so that as you continue using it over time, you will build up this database of knowledge that it's aware of, and then you can actually make your bookmarks useful, is the idea.
That's great. So it's like, like if it was an employee in a team, he'd be like, they'd understand your product and what you're building, but their job would be like the Twitter analyst.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way of framing the way I think about it. Yeah.
that's great. It sounds complicated, and it sounds like, it's gonna be fun to discover all these like things, and how
Mm-hmm.
much of this vision comes to
Yeah,
reality
absolutely.
is
Yeah.
gonna be interesting to find out.
And I think it'll
Yeah.
be cool for people to just watch the process, because I have a fairly strong idea of how I'm going to do it, and I've been building things like this before. I've built a ton of things like this before, so I know exactly what I'm doing. And I think there's probably a lot of value in people just seeing how I do it, and the process that I work through,
Yeah.
and things I think about. So I hope people enjoy the product, but I also hope people enjoy the journey of me explaining how I think about it and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, definitely. And do you have any questions you want to open up to the community?
I mean, not right now. I guess I'll have more next week when I start building. But it's interesting to find out, I guess, right now if people think that's a cool idea, and like whether it has any value.
That's a great, yeah. We'll open it up for that. And anybody like Adrian's idea? Want to say something? Alex, you look like you're itching to talk.
Yeah. I really like the idea. I just have only one question. How many bookmarks do you have already? Because I use bookmarks like for temporary stuff like bookmark, and then this evening I'm gonna remove everything. How many bookmarks do you have? Like
No, but the
100?
question is, do you like the idea? Like, it's not like open, because if we just open it for any question anybody has, it'll take forever. So
Ah, okay, okay.
do you have an answer for
Not
Adrian?
really.
Like, would you be interested in something like that?
Yeah, I would for sure. I just want to take a look. Yeah.
Yeah, like how many bookmarks do you want something like that to have? Maybe is a better uh like
Yeah, I don't really know.
how would you use it, Alex?
Yeah, I have like about 10 bookmarks, and for me, it would be great if I open this application. They scan through all my bookmarks to the original post, because you don't bookmark a specific like topic, yeah, like the initial topic. You may bookmark or reply or something else. I just want to figure out how it could be helpful for us if you
Huh.
bookmark like not original topic, but the thread or something like that.
Like it can retrieve the like the mother thread of where
Yeah,
we
yeah,
bookmark. Uh-huh.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. We will discuss in DMs. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Anybody else have any ideas on, if they would like something like that, like a bookmark co-pilot that also has like access to the projects you're building, so it has like context to whatever you're building in your business, and then can use uh like Twitter bookmarks as kind of like a source of intelligence. Yeah, Alex, just unmute, my man. uh okay, maybe doesn't have anything else to say, but yeah, anybody have any ideas?
Yeah,
Uh,
can
yeah,
you hear me?
yeah, Thought, my man.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, Taha. That's how you say my name. That's right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I am a person who has tons of bookmarks. Anything I see in Twitter, and I think that, oh, this is remotely something that can help me out. Like, just bookmark it, because sometimes, and the problem is that very rarely I go back and check any of the bookmarks, because it's already buried. Like, it's like a graveyard. My bookmark section. Just maybe two or three days or like a week ago, I was just posting there should be sort of a better bookmark idea. At least, but when I click the bookmark button on Twitter, ask me why are you bookmarking, so it becomes an intentional exercise rather than oh, I see something, I click the bookmark and move on. So when you're
Yeah,
doing something it intentionally, then you at least think, oh, what do I do with the thing that I'm saving? For example, I sometimes I would see really nice SEO tips, do XYZ and you get a backlink or something like that, and then I would immediately hit the bookmark button, and then I would forget about it. But if when I hit the bookmark button, if the app or Chrome extension or whatever it is asks me why are you doing that, which project, whatever it is, one simple question. So
mhm.
then you at least are doing something intentionally rather than just, what do you call it, unintentional, like bookmark habit.
Yeah,
I
like just hoarding bookmarks.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's two other things with regards to Adrian's idea. I
Mhm.
think I heard it in Greg Eisenberg's podcast. So they were talking about how big that business is going to be because not bookmarking, journaling. So why, like
Yeah.
Adrian said, so uh, the days of people writing up a journal are gone. Right now with the chat and with AI, people would just be recording their bookmark, not bookmark, their journal, whatever they
Yeah.
want to do, and then it will be like how he said, you have a search bar. Imagine you have a search bar for all your thoughts ever. Like instead of writing it in a paper, now you have put it into the system, and with LLM you have a search bar. Basically you can just ask, oh, I've seen this XYZ on Twitter, do you remember whatever that is, and then how that can help you with whatever the project you're currently building. So apparently, I'm not 100% sure. He was telling this is going to be a big uh, business, because then you're making journaling a very personal exercise. You're making journaling also searchable, and that is a huge market. And you can niche down onto various areas. You can niche down into personal journaling, you can niche down into personal indie hacking, mental health, XYZ. There's a lot of opportunities in that area. So I just wanted to mention this when he said the idea of bookmarking. At least I think this is you're the third or fourth person who I know who's actively building a bookmarking app.
Yeah, no, I love your take on it. It's like kind of uh it also plays well with what Adrian was saying because you're giving it extra intelligence, right? When you give like an intent for a bookmark, and Adrian is building like an agent that kind of helps you with bookmarking, you're giving it more context so it can help you implement the ideas better. So love it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The more important thing would be uh, to make the sorry to get the bookmark to help you. So instead of just bookmarking and forgetting it, you need an action. Okay, you've done a bookmark. What next? So the idea is that, like, let's say you bookmark at the end of the week, the LLM throws you a question. Hey, you have bookmarked 20 things. Do you want to do something with it? Okay, if you
Yeah.
then you will have a quick look. You're gonna pick one or two or three items of that, and the rest you can just archive and move on. So at least there is a second level or a third level, action prompting, and at some point of time you might actually take an action, or the bookmark is then deleted anyways. So the idea is that from an unconscious exercise it become a conscious thing that might actually help you with your projects or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Adrian, thoughts on
100%.
that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly the way that I'm thinking about it. Like you've articulated it in the exact way that I think about it, which is the problem that I was facing is that like you said, the phrasing of it, my bookmarks became a graveyard. That's how I felt. I was just collecting bookmarks, and I really like the framing that you put there of expressing some intent for it, like upfront, rather than just I'm just collecting this. I'm just going to forget about it. I click bookmark and I forget about it. Having some intention to that is great. I really like the idea of something that prompts you straight away as soon as you hit bookmark. It's like, what's your plan for this? What are your thoughts? Just to quickly capture that. I think that's great. I hadn't really thought about that, to be honest. My main idea was that once you hit bookmark, then you go to this app. and it's now in a feed, and now you can just discuss. But the problem with that is that you might have forgotten why you even bookmarked it if you haven't come back to the app in a while. So if you bookmarked it a week ago, you might actually not remember why, like exactly what was going through your head when you bookmarked it. So having some way of expressing that intent initially, I think, is a really, really strong idea. But yeah, otherwise, that's exactly it. I would love to have some process of turning the bookmarks into an active thing rather than just a passive collection of tweets that I've collected over the years. It's actually driving forward my goals. And it's like, I want to improve my SEO, and this is good content. I want to make good social posts. I want to make good marketing. I want to build better. I want to know what the latest tech trends are and all that kind of stuff. And some of it might be useful, and I want to have quick access to that. So that is the idea. And yeah, I love that, the way that you articulated that.
All right. Zoko, you want to say something? Or all right. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yes, I am new hosting join.
Yeah, welcome.
Everyone welcome.
Yeah, do you have any ideas for Adrian? Like, do you like his idea about the bookmark? Like, would you use something like that?
I use my directory website.
Oh, does that have anything to do with the bookmarks, or you want to talk about your directory website?
Bookmark, no idea.
No. Yeah. But yeah, then let's keep it there because like Taha, he kind of was sharing. So I want to hear what Taha's building, and then we'll go on to you. All right,
Okay.
Taha, my man, you want to share
Yeah.
what you're working on?
Actually, I have not. I'm not actively working on anything because I've been chasing MRR for a while, and isn't really as active as, or it didn't work out as I wanted to be a workout. There's always some results. Okay, it's like you're showing a hungry person like a little bit of food. There's always some little result, and then you go behind it, and then it doesn't really pop out to become what you imagine to become. So I've got
Yeah.
a few apps going on. So at the moment, I have actively stopped developing anything, and I'm just trying to figure out how to do marketing. So
Okay.
how to do
Let's
selling,
troubleshoot
how to
that then.
do
Yeah.
distribution. So for example, last week I saw this guy on Twitter, I think Stefan. He does really good automations for marketing.
Mhm.
So I was playing around that. So the idea is that I have a Chrome extension that I have built. It's a very simple one. I use it personally for my work. So my day job, where I have to respond to a lot of support queries.
Mhm.
English is not my first language, so I will quickly debug the problem and I'll quickly write it. But what I have written might not be the best version for the reader.
Uh-huh.
You see the problem. So I would quickly write it. There would be a lot of shortcuts, small words, and
Mhm.
then I selected the text. I right click, and then my extension pops up. Then I can just reword it or rewrite it and in different tones and XYZ. So
Okay.
that's what happens with the extension. I built it in Feb or so, and then I've got maybe a couple of sales, and then I never really marketed it.
Okay.
So the idea is that I wanted to try to market it at least 1,000 times before I say, okay, this thing doesn't work. That was that's my current idea.
Okay.
So the first step is I created 150 Instagram posts. Okay, that took me about 2-3 days to do it.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did is that I selected an audience. I thought who might actually need an extension like that. So obviously it's a browser thing. So somebody working on a computer and
Mhm.
somebody who does a lot of replies and stuff on computer, not somebody who's just watching computer, who's using computer to write. So I
Okay.
thought, okay, SEO professionals might be a good target because they're always writing meta titles, H1s, they're always replying to quotations, proposals, whatnot. Okay, so I selected 150 different things. So out of which there are 30 rewrites. Okay, the 30 about summarizing SEO articles, 30 of replying to SEO related questions online, and 30 something else. Basically 150 items I go, I look at the item. Okay, if it is a Quora question about what is a new SEO update, then I would right click. My extension would give it an answer. I would screenshot it. So I've got 150 screenshots to basically show how my extension works. All right.
Okay.
And that's what I did. So once I had the collection, I realized that I can't post it to Instagram right away because I forgot to write the description for each of the image that I've got, right? I've
Hmm.
got a Instagram post which basically shows how my extension works in the context of SEO professionals.
Okay.
So what I did is that Stefan was telling how you can automate this bit using make.com. So I
Mm.
popped all 150 into my Dropbox and opened make.com and created an automation flow. Basically, it goes into my Dropbox, picks an image, sends it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT reads what is on the image and comes back with the Instagram description. All right, and then it connects my Google Sheets and puts the description with the image name over there.
Okay.
That was a fun thing to do, to figure out how to do that, but it did. So I clicked a button and then I had all 150 uh, images with a description.
Okay.
That done. Now I have done a second automation where I am just going to be posting this for next 30 days. So every day 5 images.
Have you
And
done this already, or you're
yeah, this is
starting?
done. This is done. So I
Okay.
think last week I posted. Now the posting is just going to start. The automation that collected the description is all done. It's all in the Google Sheet, and I've already connected the make.com to start posting. I want to do it like maybe after a week because I'm on a vacation next week. I don't want
Mhm.
people to see it and then type something and then I can't reply.
Can we go back a little bit, because I feel like
Yeah,
there's maybe a problem here. So you said you have a Chrome extension
yeah,
that you write something in kind of like broken English, and it turns it into something readable, right?
yeah.
Okay. And then
So that extension does few things. So my extension does five
uh,
things. So there are options to explain. You can click a text, okay, something you don't know, right? Like explain, it would give you an explanation, or
okay.
summarize, or reply, reword. That's four. There is copyright, and there's one more. So it basically does 6 actions
But
for each.
this is actions you created after the fact. Like, what do you use it for?
I use it primarily to respond anything. So in Twitter, if you post a tweet and
Uh-huh.
if I've replied, I would have typed my tweet response, right click, reword, and then push it.
Okay, but because those things already exist. So what, like a Chrome extension that basically puts chat in your Chrome,
Yeah.
those things exist. So how are you different from the?
Yeah, those things exist. So normally what happens is that either it is a SaaS product. All
Okay.
right. So basically you're paying MRR, like you're paying monthly $6, $5 for that.
Hmm.
First of all, I hate that because I think it's too much to pay $6 to get a response, whereas uh, open API key. So I have put $5 into my extension in February this year. All right.
Yeah.
Now this is what November. That's a good 6.5 month, and
Yeah.
I'm still at $3 done. I have $2 left. So
Okay. So
for
so
users, it's
yeah.
cost effective. You pay 19 $20, buy my extension, put your own API key, and then you get to use it as long as you want to.
Okay. So it's buy once Chrome extension
Yeah,
that gives you access to whatever key you like, if it's Anthropic, if it's OpenAI, whatever.
yeah.
And that doesn't exist in the market?
I do not know. And obviously, them even if it exists, right? I
Yeah.
always think of it like this. Imagine you go to a town and you've got a grocery store. You can open a new grocery store next door. All right. There's no problem in that. It's just about how you're marketing. So I have built this Chrome extension after seeing somebody's product already. I
Yeah.
don't know who the guy is. Somewhere in the Jan, he was marketing a Chrome extension,
Okay.
which does a slightly different activity that was for translation.
Yes.
So you can click and translate this.
Uh-huh.
Again, that was a SaaS product where you have to pay monthly MRR.
I know, but what you're saying is the pain point that you're solving for
Yeah,
is one of price. That's
yeah,
it.
correct.
Whereas you started with a pain point that you actually had, which is responding to like you have your job where you're responding to what is it? You respond to
Support tickets.
support tickets. You respond to support tickets, and instead of you thinking of, okay, how can I develop a, a product that organizes support tickets for people like me, where they can, submit all their tickets, and then it automatically fixes all the tickets and submits them to the manager. You were like, no, let me just go compete, create a commodity product, and compete on price, and just win on distribution. Which is a very difficult thing to kind of go around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, but the core of the idea is not about support ticket. It's a simple, how do I say, I wanted to create a product that simply helps you present your idea in a better format, whatever that is. Let's say you have written on a tweet, just reword it, you get it better, for especially for those who are not good at writing and presenting something. All
Yeah,
right, now this product exists. I'm not saying it's a whole new product, but I'm saying this isn't distribute this exists in our circle, where we are developers, where we all know that this kind of product exists. It is true that there are
but you're saying you're
competition there.
you're going to SEO experts, and SEO
SEO experts who
experts.
are not like core developers. I'm not going to be marketing it in Twitter at all. I'm trying to get it on out of Twitter to Instagram to Pinterest to uh, where it's not about development. People just need a tool to help do their day job, kind of thing.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, is that you said it's SEO experts is who you're
No, no.
targeting.
The target in the first target I did was SEO, the 150 posts, right? The
Yeah.
next one I'm currently doing is for sales. So I am,
Mhm.
like I said, I am going to attempt to sell it to at least a, what do you call, 1,000 posts. It's my own personal target, just so that I do not want to quit in between. Okay, I
You don't
want,
have to quit. I'm not
yeah.
telling you to quit.
So
I'm
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 saying,
I'm I'm trying to
uh,
make you think about marketing, not because you're thinking about marketing as an activity you do in pushing content out, and
yeah,
that is not the activity of marketing. Marketing is the activity of finding the right customer and making them yours,
yeah,
right? So and that is an interactive process. It's not I create 1,000 pieces of content, push it out, and hope for the best.
uh,
It's about um, engaging with people and talking to them and understanding their pain point, and then presenting a solution. You know
correct.
what I mean?
Correct. Now, there's two aspects to this. Okay, I
Mhm.
don't know if I am articulating it good enough. So the first thing is that anybody who I have shown the extension, right? Again, it's not groundbreaking, but they haven't had seen one of those. Again, I'm talking out of the Twitter circle.
It's
Let's
fine.
say,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Now, what my idea is that to show this to a set of audience who hasn't seen it.
yeah.
Okay, so that's why I went into Instagram, where there are people who do SEO activity on their day job, and at the end of the day, they're just scrolling Instagram. Those kind of people. Now, I selected SEO because in Instagram, I did not want to create an account and just promote my Chrome extension. I wanted to uh, have an account which provides a valuable content. So the SEO is just the valuable content part, so that when SEO professionals are scrolling, they will, oh, what is this? For example, I'm explaining something. Let's say I'm explaining what is a PPC. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's a valuable content for SEO professional. It's just that I have subtly plugged my tool over there, so they'll be like, oh, how is this guy doing this explanation right on the browser?
Mhm.
You get the idea, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not,
I get the
yeah.
idea. I'm just trying to
And
help you
I know
think
that it's
about
a,
the
I
target.
know that it's a bit of a far shot. Okay, from my perspective, in my head, I'm thinking of it this way. One, I want to learn how to uh, show the product that I built to an audience who hasn't seen it before.
Sounds
Like
good.
somebody who is not searching for it, somebody who doesn't know it exists. Okay, I want them to see it. Okay, now it's a very, let's say, they say it as a top funnel. It's a very top funnel activity where You might get some response or you might not get some response, but I want to give it a shot and see how it works out.
Yeah, no, I like your your hustle and your commitment to it. It's very commendable. Do you have any questions you want to ask the community?
How does the idea sound?
What idea? Can you just be a little more specific?
How does the marketing idea sound? Like
Oh,
basically, I have
okay.
created
Feedback on
the
your marketing
yeah
approach.
feedback on the marketing then.
Okay. Yeah. Philip, you want to say something?
Yeah. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I think one thing that stood out to me was, so in the beginning, if I got you correctly, you said that you wanted to make it so people have to input their own API key. Is that correct?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I think there's a bit of a mismatch because now you said you wanted to kind of target an audience that's not familiar with those tools, but I think that's a really it's a tough call because like most people that are capable of like making an like OpenAI account, creating getting the API key, this entire flow, right? It's complicated for like non-tech people, and at least I would say, for example, my mom, she couldn't do this. I don't think she could, or she would at least maybe she could, but she wouldn't do it. And now you're targeting people that are like not familiar with those tools, and I would say most people that know how to use like API keys and stuff, I think most of them probably nowadays know that those tools exist. So maybe if you're
Yeah.
targeting like a non-tech audience, I would never do I would just go with like monthly payment, just standard
Yeah.
payment.
Just to answer that bit, that is very true. If you are a non-tech guy, they are not going to figure out how to do the API. So with Chrome extensions, I've just researched and figured out that if somebody can download your Chrome extension and they are not able to try it out for free, that's never going to pick up. So what I'm just like currently trying to implement is that when they download the Chrome extensions, they get like 100 free attempts. Since the API is so cheap, I thought I would give it a shot. Where when you download the Chrome extensions without any API key, you can just try it out 100 times. At which time it will give you a block and then give you a clear instruction on how to get your own API key if you want to, with a clear video and what do you call an onboarding flow. Again, this is not great. This is, let's say, uh, uh, it's not great 100%, but it's an okay situation because now they have already experienced the extension and they know whether it is giving them any value or not. And I was thinking to put a clear comparison. If it is an MRR, if they prefer monthly payment, and what is the benefit of just getting an API key, how cheap it would be.
Or maybe you can just compete on the model. Like I think Gemini is free. So if you just want to compete on price and maybe deliver not the best rewriting, you can use like free models.
I don't think it's free for profit though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
No, they are not free. I think at the
But I
moment.
would maybe sorry to interrupt, but I would maybe offer both. Like, why not offer both?
Yeah,
I think it's
I was
really
going to say
nice
that
that
as
you're
well.
offering API, because I would use the API key. Like, I have my OpenAI account set up, and I would be happy to use API keys. But for example, so you're offering like free trial, kinda, and then I think what would be best is to just offer like a smooth transition into monthly payment, because like for me, for example, I'm in Europe, right? For me, $5 a month, it's like nothing, to be honest. And like in different countries, that's different. But yeah, I think like $5, because I think you mentioned $5, right? I think it's like actually pretty cheap.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think like my take there is that I would absolutely use an API key myself, and I would love. Obviously, I'm not the target audience of this extension, but if I like trying to put myself in those shoes, I would love to pay $20 and just use my own API key. That would be perfect for me. But I'm somebody who's like deeply familiar with API keys and all the technical details. And what I'm paying for at that point is just the convenience of like, I could build this extension myself, I could set it all up, but I'd rather just pay you $20 because you've already done it. So the value add there, or the value prop there is quite simple. It's like you're just paying for not having to do it, and then you're just off to the races. Where that's not the pitch to somebody who's a non-tech person in SEO or whatever other niche that you're going after, where you can say, oh, you can save all this time and just pay $20 and then just use your own API key. But it's actually adding a huge like overhead, like mental overhead for them. So yeah, they're saving the time that they don't have to write the extension, but they never would have anyway. It was never even in their mind. And now you're telling them that they have to go and do this stuff that's easy, but it's stuff that they've never done, which means the kind of initial energy required to get over that is quite high for them. So I suspect that a lot of people, if you just said that this is $5 a month, they would just be like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just pay that. So I think there's an audience for both. So while it might be more effort, so you could go two ways, I suppose. You could have one extension that does both. Like you give them the option. It's like it's a one-time $20 fee, and you use your own API key, or you can pay me a $5 a month. It's up to you. Or alternatively, you could just A/B test like with two different extensions and see which one gets traction, and then just kill the other one. I guess it depends, but yeah, I suppose the real crux of the argument that I think is being got at here is that the value prop is kind of there for the technical people, but you're actually targeting non-technical people, which I think offering free and then allowing them to like use it and get the value from it. It's like this idea of trying to get your users to the aha moment as quickly as possible. It's like a super useful framework to think about things that I use all the time. And giving the free trial where it's like just install the extension and you can use it for free for like 100 requests or whatever, and you can get them to that aha moment where they're like, oh yeah, this is actually super useful for me. And then at that point, maybe they are willing to go through those steps. And if you document how to get an API key really cleanly, maybe within the extension, that can guide them through that. Like maybe you request access to different pages, and when they go to the OpenAI page, it can pop open and say, yeah, you're on the right page, now click this thing or whatever, and you can guide them through that. Maybe that works. But just instinctively, that feels like a lot of effort when you could just charge them $5 a month, and they're probably just going to pay it.
Yeah, let's check in on Taha. What are your thoughts, bro?
These are really good arguments. I like these arguments. Obviously, I think the easier approach would be to have both of it. You have a MRR bit and you have the free version bit. What do you call buy once bit, and then people can choose whatever they want. And
but in terms of marketing, like I feel like, are you getting any clarity on your original question?
Yes, I'm getting a clarity. Obviously, if I shoot the marketing ads now, and a non-technical person go in and attempt to download the extension, and he figures out that okay, you need an API key now, it's not gonna bring in the ROI that I expect. So I think I'll have to make the decision of how to make it easy for the non-technical person first before I go ahead and fire up all the Instagram posts.
I love it.
Alternatively, something that just came into my mind is you could perhaps set up your own like proxy server so that all requests go through you, and then you can allow them the same experience where they just like load in credit. So instead of using an API key, they just like deposit $5 into the extension, which is like through the account's backend of your system, and it knows that they've got $5 of credit, and then you can just meter their usage through your proxy, and then you get that same experience while still giving them a pay-as-you-go experience. So you kind of get the best of both worlds if you do it that way. It just adds a little bit more kind of infra overhead for you, but there's like off-the-shelf tools that allow you to do this kind of metering. There's even a platform called OpenMeter that syncs with Stripe automatically. So you can set it up with Stripe, and it syncs your users between OpenMeter and Stripe, and then your usage is just given to Stripe through OpenMeter monthly, and your users are just automatically charged. So you could do that. So then they wouldn't even have to necessarily load in the credit up front. They will just get billed monthly based on their usage. And then you could perhaps like charge it like at flat fee of like maybe you just charge cost for the API. And then maybe at that point, you could even offer multiple different APIs because you're doing the proxy. So there could be a setting in the extension that it's like, I want to use, like depending on how technical you want to go, you could say, I want to use GPT-4o Mini or O1 Preview or whatever and give them access to the direct models. Or if this is like a really non-tech audience that doesn't care for those things and doesn't know what they mean, you could just say like cheap, fast, decent model or like expensive, really good model or whatever. And you can work on the copy there. But that might get you to the place that gives you the UX that you're after without giving the user like you're taking on the burden by managing that infrastructure instead of passing the burden on to the user.
Yeah, makes sense for like a non-technical audience. Definitely you want to take on that burden. What are your thoughts, Tara?
That's really clever. I actually had never thought about it. I had thought about the previous two ideas. So this is really clever because then um, uh, they are paying less money. They are not paying a monthly subscription. It's more like I like the credit system. You recharge and then you use it up because then everybody is under control. When it is an MRR, I think people immediately think, oh, another monthly thing that I have to pay. I know it's a small money, but we all are tech people. By the time end of the month, we already have 20 things that we are paying monthly fees for, right? So I like this idea. This is a really clever one. Thanks, Adrian.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Zilko, you wanna share your project? You've been no. All right. Anybody else wanna share their project?
I do.
Arbel, my man, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. What are you building?
So, actually, I've started working on a new Chrome extension lately.
Okay.
I've been shopping online for many years, and I still haven't found a tool which lets you, for example, get cheaper product requests or more like suggestions. When I browse like Amazon, for example, and I want to see like cheaper products from AliExpress and many other cheaper Chinese shopping websites. So I want to hear. First of all, I've uploaded a few screenshots to my Twitter profile. If anybody wants to take a look, and
Okay.
I
I've
would love
heard
to
of
hear
something
your.
like this. So like, just so I understand what you're trying to build. So you're like on Amazon
Mhm.
and you're looking at products and it shows you just cheaper alternatives on Alibaba.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds clever. I think some people are building this. I'm not sure. Like, do you know anything about the competition?
So I found a few tools which lets you, for example, if you find an image online, you can press right click any image and search AliExpress for this image. They actually have a nice API which is doing so.
Okay.
They let you like search the image,
Uh-huh.
but nothing that does all of these like all this behind the scenes automatically and with like multiple websites. It's always only only AliExpress or only Amazon comparison. It's never like cross websites, cross brands. And later on, I want to expand it for maybe Shein, maybe Amazon actually has multiple like branches throughout Europe. They have Amazon.co.uk, Amazon.Spain, Italy, Germany, and so on.
Uh-huh.
So there is so much room to grow.
So you're saying none of like no competitor has built like the Chrome extension where you can on any website just click and see.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And sounds like a good idea. Uh, what's your question?
So I want to hear mainly, I believe many of the people here in this talk have been shopping online. If anyone takes a few seconds to think about this idea, if someone can spot maybe a missing feature or something which I should work on,
But what's the
how does
features you're
it
working
sound?
on now?
Sorry again.
Like right now, it's just Amazon, and you want to expand it. Like it sounds pretty comprehensive what you're saying. So
Um, yeah, so I have like my own set of features. Now it finds you products from Amazon, AliExpress, and other Chinese e-commerce website, which is called Banggood, something like this. It's for mainly electronics and gadgets and stuff. And I've added a small like search bar for the products that actually gather from all these websites. You can search after the extension finds your products. You can search for, apply a few filters, sort by price, maybe sort by the review count of every item that I found.
uh-huh.
I wanted to
I'm
hear
looking at
like
I'm looking at the things, the pictures you posted on your profile, and so basically you have like a list of alternative websites loaded up, right? And then you have filters to kind
yeah,
of
exactly.
okay, yeah. I don't know if your question is specific enough, but I'll open it up and see. Like, does anybody have any feedback for Arba?
There's one website. I'm not sure if it's like super similar to what you're pitching. I think it's going after a kind of different target, but it's called dupe.com, dupe.com.
Yeah,
And
that's the one I heard of. Yeah.
yeah, so that's that. I think I'm not that familiar with them. It's just something I've come across before. But I think their whole thing is they don't have an extension as far as I'm aware. You just type dupe.com in front of the URL that you're on, which I think is a really cool tactic rather than getting people to download an extension. It's just like dupe.com slash and then whatever URL you're on. But I'm not sure how good that is at the AliExpress thing because I think what you're pitching is something that I'd be interested in, and because I often find things on Amazon that I'm like, that's definitely just like some cheap Chinese thing that somebody's drop shipping on Amazon, and I can just
Mhm.
find the original on AliExpress. So there's definitely a market there because I do that myself. I'll find things on Amazon and then I'll go to AliExpress and try to find them. So some way of doing that more easily would definitely be helpful. So I think there's definitely value there. But yeah, as I said, I'm not that familiar with the landscape of tooling that's already there, so I can't provide
Yeah.
much.
Maybe a better question, Arbel, is like maybe a wish list. Like, if you guys, would that be helpful to you? Like a wish list of features instead of, you know, trying to look at yours and compare and see what's missing, and like what would you like in a tool like this? Would that be a better question?
Yeah, I guess so. That's probably what I meant to ask.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So guys, if you had a tool like that, like, if you can wave a magic wand and you have a tool that can look at a product and give you the cheapest alternative, what are some of your expectations for
Uh,
a tool like that?
just to add on to this, so in my house, okay, basically most of the shopping is done by my wife. She's got a better taste of buying things, and she does the thing that he just described. Basically, you look at the product and then um, uh, is this cheaper here or is it cheaper there? So if it is in India, she would compare between Amazon and Mintra. Mintra is a e-commerce website which basically sells clothes, something like Shein. Here she would check with Shein and Amazon, but all of this happens in her mobile. She's not a computer person, so I
How
do
do
not.
you spell that website?
Mintra, Myntra.
Okay.
It's a Indian. It's a Sheen, similar to Sheen, but in India. All right. Again, all of these things that she does is 100% on mobile. So I think that might be a point for him to look at, for you to look at,
Great
in
point. Yeah,
future.
fantastic point. Uh, is there
Yeah,
a mobile
building
version of it, Albert?
so building a website is actually a really good idea. I actually thought about it as well. I have like all the all the product, all the marketing materials like in my brain, like to tell people actually to prefix the URL with my link, and then it actually searches for similar products. So I thought about it as well. Those are really cool ideas. I wanted to hear if anyone has like any more e-commerce websites which I should look into.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think if you do Duke.com style, where you prefix it with the URL, it becomes mobile friendly, like Taha said. But yeah, Aditya, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, one thing would be, Abel, do you already have customers or uh, people who are using your tool? So, why I'm asking this is one important thing is to identify your target audience. Just as Taha said, so like women who are shopping for clothes, they tend to compare prices a lot more than let's say someone who does not care that much where he or she is buying something from. So, do you have a target audience in mind or currently using your product?
So that's a great question. I actually had around 100 to 150 active users on a previous iteration of this Chrome extension, and it actually um, I targeted drop shippers online, and I found that when they do like their drop shipping, I actually get a commission off of it. So that was a really cool aspect of this project, that they actually generated income. They dealt with all the marketing themselves, but once they clicked on my products, I actually made some income out of it.
Yeah, that's a great like target audience drop shippers because they definitely compare the prices everywhere. Uh, and what was the feedback like?
But
What
this is
did
not the
they
format
want?
of this show, Aditya Kumar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is just, if you have any answers to the original question, not
Okay.
opening it up to, exploration. But if
Yep,
if you
yep.
have any like
Okay.
a wish list of features for a product like that, uh, do you have like that would be great. But just opening it up
Uh,
for random questions, like I said, it'll take forever to get through everyone's projects.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So
Thanks.
please
Yeah.
feel free if anyone here has more ideas. My DMs are open, and feel free to reach out.
Great. Anybody else have
Right.
projects to share? Aditya, my man, what are you building?
Uh, so okay, I'll share. I just started with a new one a couple of days back. So it's called Quizzoot. You might have heard of something called Kahoot, which is a tool for making quizzes, like real-time multiplayer quizzes. It's used in schools, it's used in offices, corporate events. And recently, like I have been researching about these tools, and what I've found is they are like outrageously high priced, because usually they are maybe purchased by offices, and like they follow the B2B model usually, but they have very high prices for the individual tiers also. So it's like $50 a month for creating a quiz for maybe 50 players together, which is a very high cost. But people are still paying it because they do not really have good alternatives. So I'm trying to build something targeting schools, classrooms. So let's say a class of 20 students or 40 students, and make the free tier as expensive as possible without burning a hole in my own pocket, and then give a very cheap tier. So I just started a couple of days back, and I created a wait list, and I already have 70 signups on the wait list. Almost all of them are teachers. uh, and yeah, so you're just starting with it, so let's see how it
So
goes.
is it just quizzes? So I can understand. Like,
Yeah,
is it
for now.
multiplayer quizzes? What's a multiplayer quiz?
So normally the quizzes, like online. So usually what teachers want is they want if they give a quiz to the students, instead of them feeling like a homework, they should feel like it's a game,
Okay.
and they should be able to play it together at the same time, so that they get a leaderboard and the kids find it's a competition and they feel excited.
Oh, very
So
cool.
that is basically a multiplayer quiz. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a quiz with like leaderboards and like
Yep.
tracking of users and stuff, and there's like a
Yes.
host and you. Okay, that's cool. And
And what
yeah,
schools prefer is like what teachers and schools prefer is they get some reports for each kid who is participating, so that they can understand, okay, he's good at maths, he's good at identifying pictures, something like that, and they can like focus on the students better that way. And this is what the companies charge a lot for. Like these products go for thousands of dollars per year for a school. And so I am thinking, I'm not thinking, I'm already making a cheaper, much cheaper alternative.
okay, it sounds good.
Yeah.
So, is it the same target? Like, because you can just cut them from, like, why do they charge a lot of money? Like, does it cost a lot to run multiple
Uh,
classrooms or something?
I don't think so. I think one reason why they target a lot is because maybe they have identified that, if you sell it right, the schools will pay you a very high amount, because for the school it might not be that much, but
Mhm.
they are just ripping off, let's say, a school or a college, because they have identified that these are people with a lot of money, and they will spend it if you market it right.
Yeah, it's
So
it's it's
probably,
usually price is a function of risk, right? Like
yeah.
but when schools buy something, they want to buy something from somebody who's not going to go out of business, right? And
Hmm.
that's why they're willing to pay a higher price for something more trustworthy than someone who's like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to build this next year, but it's cheap now. It doesn't
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
that's a
it doesn't
risk, yeah.
inspire confidence. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's definitely like uh, maybe a way to kind of sell it directly to the teacher for a low amount. Like how do
Yes.
you plan on getting in these
Yeah.
sales cycles?
Exactly. I am planning it two ways. One is okay, three ways. Let's say one is the free tier, which anyone can use. It's not just for schools. Like if you want to play with your friends, or if you want to use it anywhere, anyone can use that. The second one, the main sales strategy that I am planning, is to target teachers. So instead of going to schools, like
Mhm.
telling them to pay $1,000 a year, I just cold DM the teachers and say, hey, do you like to make such quizzes? Maybe with just $5 a month or $10 a month, you can have a quiz for 50 students. Like you can have maybe 20 quizzes in a month or 10 quizzes in a month, for just 50 or 60 students that you have. So instead of targeting schools, maybe I can go after individual teachers, and then does make it much more cheaper,
Yeah,
and
bottom
maybe
up. So
reduce the support.
let me
Yeah.
suggest maybe something alternatively so you can think about it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the first use case sounds like it's not even a real use case. So let's just focus on teachers. And maybe
Okay.
if the teacher individually for their class, it can be free. But then once they want to
Mm-hmm.
adopt it school wide, it becomes paid. And the additional feature for like the school wide thing is that extra level of organization, right? Because right now
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
teacher can look at the students, but when you sell it to the school, the principal can look at all the teachers and all the students, and that becomes
Yeah.
the paid product, and just the class is a free product, so
Mm.
that way you can kind of get in and then get
Yeah.
that buy-in.
That's a nice idea. I am yet to email a lot of people who are on my wait list, so probably I would have got the same feedback. But yeah, this is a nice idea. I will be considering this.
I love it. And do you have any questions for the community?
Not yet, but I will probably be back next week
Okay, after you
with
talk to the
questions.
teachers,
Yeah,
that sounds good.
yeah.
All right. Anybody else wants to share their projects? Vlad, my man, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Sai, man? How's it going?
Man, it's good to hear your voice. How are your projects going? You have like 37 right now?
No, I am actually about to launch a new one this weekend.
Okay.
So it's called Site Sync from
Okay.
site as yes as a job site basically.
Hmm.
Site Sync, and this is based on a friend of mine. He works in a small to medium renovation construction company in Toronto,
Hmm.
and he reached out because what the issue they have right now is every time they send like every time they get a call, um, so they send a technician to the place, to the location, to check out the house or whatever it is, the emergency. They deal a lot with emergencies. So if
Hmm.
there's a flooding or a broken pipe or whatever,
Hmm.
they're called and then they go and then they do an evaluation of the damage and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
And then they fixed it. So the way they're doing it right now is they use WhatsApp. So they create a group in WhatsApp with the address, and then the technician goes there. He takes the pictures. He uploads all the stuff in there, and then everything is kind of being documented on a WhatsApp group. And then they have to take the pictures from there and then organize the in folders and stuff like that. I asked him why don't you, there must be solutions for this. I mean, this is not a new
Hmm.
issue. So he says yes, there are, but they're very complex. They have a lot of features and like a lot of stuff that they don't need. So I he sent me a link of a few competitors,
Okay.
and yeah, I understand. Like when I went through they have some demo views and stuff. I can definitely see that. Yes, I mean they have tons of stuff that he says we don't need any of that. Like so, and then these people are not tech savvy or anything like that. So it's a lot of training and stuff like that. So I say, okay, so let me just kind of go through these competitors and just build something specifically for your use case, but I'm gonna make it generic so it can be used by any company.
Hell yeah.
So the whole concept of, let's say the technician goes there, he logs into the app, then he has this address where he can upload the pictures and put notes, and then at the office they don't have to do anything. Everything is organized by zones and stuff like basement, room one, room two, like they create. So it's very straightforward. I'm not gonna lie, I almost like kind of copy what these other guys are doing,
Yeah.
and I just made it my own way. But uh but I'm trying to make it as focused as possible. So just like if they want something that is not related to like to this, I say I'm not gonna do it. Like this is just for that specifically.
It's just like site management, like apartment
It's
buildings and stuff like that.
exactly like yeah, like it's basically like the technician goes there, he takes the pictures of the water damage or stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and then like at the office they can just log in and go to the address, and then they see all the pictures there and the notes are there. So it's very straightforward. When you look at it, it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
But my goal with this was to kind of niche down as much as possible, so that way I go straight to the point, and I can just just build them, right.
Yeah. Is there a way you can kind of fork their usage? Like, you know how they use the WhatsApp? Like, is there a way you can kind of create an agent on, I'm just,
Hmm.
spitballing ideas really, but like create an agent that goes through the WhatsApp and then collects the relevant information and inputs it into your
Yeah, like that
simple
is a very
system?
cool idea. That's a very cool idea. Like let's say, yes, that's a very cool idea, because what I could do, yeah, I can implement that. Like what I could do is, and that would be an extra feature. Like, okay, you don't want to use, you have, maybe they have a big team and some people they just want to keep using WhatsApp. I can add that as an extra feature where with this an agent, like you said, like he's scanning the stuff and then just kind of send the pictures and the notes to the app, and it's displayed the same way. Yeah, for sure, that's doable. Yeah,
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 because I feel like, the way to kind of get in is to not, have them learn new behaviors, right?
exactly. That is the challenge. That is the challenge. So, and he told me the problem with these guys is that they just know one way to do it, and then it's hard to make them change to something else. So I say, okay, I understand. So I went to check. These other apps are expensive, like $250 a month, more or less. and there's limitations, right? So I say, well, maybe if I just focus on this, because the other application does reports and billing and all this stuff. I say, no, I'm just gonna do the picture and like basically the visual management of the project.
Yeah,
This is what's gonna handle.
it's
So
good.
I'm
With
on.
the pricing thing, you kind of, I don't know if you were on the call when I said about the pricing thing. It's more of a risk thing,
Yeah.
low risk, high price. So, you don't want to create an image that is untrustworthy, and that's kind of where, a lot of people stumble when they want to price cheaply, is
Mhm.
they forget that whoever is buying doesn't want cheap products. They want to
Exactly. Yes.
feel,
Especially these people, for instance, like my friend's issue, he told me because he talks to the boss. He's like the CTO of the company, basically my friend. And he
Mhm,
talked to the boss, and the problem from these other apps was not the price.
mhm,
They didn't care. They would pay 250 a month or whatever it was,
yeah,
but they didn't pay because they saw that they gave it a trial run, and they just saw that it was very complex. So that was kind of, for me, that was okay. So that means that these guys, if I charge $100 a month, they are not gonna say no as long as I'm solving their issue. And right now I'm using your Supabase for database, and
yeah. But
I'm
that's
just
too big of a difference. $100 a month, like, not too big, because if it's 250, but it's simpler, maybe like you can get away with 200 or 150.
okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So what I like is that he didn't mention the price as the issue, right? So that for me was kind of okay. Let's just fucking do this
Yeah.
and focus on this, and then I make it into a SaaS where I can offer it to like small, medium businesses, like the
Yeah,
same as
and
he
if it
did.
and if
There
it
are
gets
some.
big, you still wanna accommodate a price that you can add more features to, right? Because
Exactly.
right now you're
Yeah.
saying this feature only, and I'm just gonna focus on it at $100 and whatever. But once you get like a user base going, and they're like, but we want this, and we want this, and we want this, and we want this, you don't want to be like, but now it's $150, right?
Yeah, it's
So
gonna be
you
hard.
do
Yeah,
want to
it's gonna
be
be hard. Yeah,
competitively priced.
and that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So right now I'm almost done. I'm almost done with that. I should be. I have a meeting with him tomorrow to kind of
Mm.
show him around how it's working. Um, and then once it's done, it's gonna be open, so like anybody can go and create a company, and then because all you do is you create a company, and then you add. You can add the members, so you invite them using the email, and then
Mhm.
you create projects by adding the address and the phone number and stuff like that, and then you just add the zones, like they're predefined zones, like the basement, the first floor, second floor, and what, like they're like 5 zones, and then you can create sub zones, like the basement then has room 1, room 2, right? And then
Very
you
cool.
add the
Yeah.
pictures in the sub zones, right? So then it's easier to find. So it's,
Amazing.
it's, it's very straightforward. I mean, it's like I think I can make something out of this. So
Sounds
let's
great,
see,
bro.
man.
I
Yeah,
think it's very promising, especially because you're building for an existing guy with existing problems. So
exactly,
that's great.
exactly.
Do you have any questions for the community?
No. I just want to stop by and see what's up, what's
No,
going on,
man.
what people are
Appreciate
building
you. Thanks
around.
for sharing.
Yeah.
Philip, you got anything?
And for me, it's just the same. I wrapped up Sun project this week.
Uh-huh.
Actually, if you're interested, I'm not gonna do the whole like Sun project talk again. I think this was like every single week now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's no,
so
but
if you're interested in Zen project, you can check my profile. It's like the
for
last
sure.
post.
And any other? What's the latest updates on the Sun project?
So we launched profiles this week, which is actually a huge launch. Because
Uh,
now it's not just a gimmicky um landing page. Basically, now it's basically it works exactly the same as Not Gonna Lie, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's more so maybe a younger audience. So Not Gonna Lie is like this anonymous messaging app.
okay.
Um, and yeah, basically Sun Project works pretty similarly to Not Gonna Lie now. The difference is it's web-based and we have not just text, we also have images, we also have canvas, and there's going to be more like message types we're gonna launch in the future. Yeah.
All right.
Um, yeah, so that's what I've been up to now. I'm
And what
actually
about
switching to Lucky
the
Me.
restaurant roulette thing?
Yeah. Now I'm switching to that now. That's what's on my plate. Also, maybe Arthur wants to speak about what we're building for as a client project. I don't know if
Oh, Arthur, yeah,
if
for
he's up
sure,
to speaking.
absolutely.
Maybe not. But so
Maybe
I'm
not.
actually
He's a shy guy.
I'm collaborating with Arthur on on a client project. We're building like a dashboard. It's pretty boring actually, but that's another thing I'm doing. So I guess it's like not the best time for discussion, maybe. So I don't
Maybe
have any questions.
you're just busy building. I like it.
Yeah,
I love it.
basically.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that all my client projects have kind of wrapped up, and now I'm free again. So
That's
now I
great.
can go like full power on Lucky Me.
You know, the you posted the pictures of the UI, and it looks great.
For what do you mean?
You posted the screens for the Lucky Me, the
Yeah,
restaurant.
this video, right?
I saw a screenshot. No, yeah, it was a video, and it's
Yeah.
like pixel art, and it's super
Yeah,
cool.
it needs a little bit of polish, but
Uh,
I think it has like great potential.
It looks, yeah, it
So
looked
right now
really cool.
I'm working on sound effects and
Mhm.
like vibrations. So it's kind of because it's kind of static. So it looks good on the video, but if you actually use the app, it's not there's something missing, right? And I'm trying to add like also maybe even like screen shake or something because I
Mm.
need to it needs to pop kind of.
Yeah, like
That's what I'm up to right now, and
maybe you do like a old soundtrack like monotone or what's it called, polyphonic.
uh you mean like 8-bit type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the name. I forgot the
Yeah,
name,
I
but
don't know shit about music either. I'm so bad. I'm trying to do
yeah,
my own music, but it's like I think I'm gonna just like music is the only thing I think I need to just hire someone. Like there's no way. I've
yeah,
tried it
for
for
sure.
like games and it's always super ass. Like there's no way I'm just not a composer. There's no chance.
Yeah, there's the AI one, the one that Timbaland endorsed. It's pretty good.
Is it and
Suno, I think.
I'm yeah. That rings a bell.
Yeah, Suno. It's so cool.
I'm
Uh,
actually a big fan of Strudel. I don't know if you know it. It's like code-based DAW, so digital audio
uh
workstation. It's Strudel like the cake.
Oh yeah,
Um, uh,
I need to check it out.
yeah, that's kind of nice. But it's like super hard.
Yeah, but check out Suno because you can kind of just describe whatever song you want, any style. It's kind of the LLM for music, and it's pretty good. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, but the problem is like I have like pretty I'm pretty I have something in mind, something pretty specific, and if I don't think AI can deliver on that, maybe, like, but
Maybe check it out.
yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.